Hello. Hopefully this is working. Hello, welcome to the Pagan Perspective. This is Megan, aka Sabirasri. Today is Thursday and I'm live. I have not been live in a while, so I thought I would come on here. I'm so late in getting this video and I kept trying to film on my phone while I was out and about like I used to, and my phone's memory is like, it just kept cutting me off every time. So I definitely need to purge a lot of probably photos from my phone in order to get a little bit more space so I can film more videos on it. But yeah, so I'm here doing a live because I don't need to have phone memory to do this. So hello, everybody. And if you're watching this in the replay, hello to you too. Aloha. And I think is this the first live? This might be the first live I've done in Oregon. Hello, Caleb. So yeah, so I am in the new place. We did get a couch, which I'm very excited about, which is awesome. So now I can actually sit. I'm sorry about the lighting. It's raining off and on today and not a lot of sun in Oregon. Yay, Pacific Northwest. So there's not going to be a ton of light, and I apologize. So we are talking about permaculture today and sort of a little bit about ourselves and our connection and things like that. So this is also going to be just a chat with you as well, and your chance to, if you have anything you want to, chat about right now, we can do that too. Mostly because I'm not really that versed in permaculture. Really not. It's not something I think about a lot other than in certain areas, which is when it comes to my herbs and things like that. I don't do a lot of permaculture type research or anything about it in the grand scheme of things. Awesome, yay. It's just not for me, or at least what I can put a lot of energy into at the moment. However, for herbs and my kind of little garden out in the backyard, I am very much into learning a little bit about it. I'm definitely, wow, I am learning so hardcore this year, mostly because I've never had in the soil, like in-ground garden. I've always done container gardening. So that's something huge and new for me that I'm learning about and finding out all the frustrations and all the fun about that sort of thing. I've always had enclosed areas in containers, so greenhouses or screened porches or things like that. And so now I'm dealing with a situation where I have, aphids and slugs and things like that I never had before. I never had to deal with that, just container gardening. So I'm learning a lot of new things and trying to do pest control and things like that with plants versus chemicals, because it's really important for me to make sure, along with sort of the root, and well, I wouldn't say the root, but the heart of permaculture, right, is to be more environmentally sustainable and to have everything working together, all the ecosystems. And so by having plants be a pest deterrent, that kind of goes hand in hand with it, which is something I've definitely been doing. Also, just learning about just the general stuff about gardening. What needs sun, what doesn't, how long, how much water. It's a lot. I'm learning a lot. It's very different than container gardening or greenhouse gardening. So it's really exciting. Definitely for me right now, it's a new environment as far as local plants and the local environment. I am in the Pacific Northwest only for the past 2 months. Before that, I was in Maui, and before that, I was in the Northeast in New Hampshire. So I've had quite a varied array of geographical locations. So plant life around me has been very different, as well as the seasons. So I was watching Kara's video and thought it was super interesting. By the way, if you're watching and you want to like say hi. Caleb said hi, say hi. Let me know you're there if you have questions, that sort of thing. I'm still looking over at the chat, so let me know. I was watching Kara's video and I thought it was really interesting when she talked about how for her, when, the seasons are, starting to change, they haven't really changed yet, but it's that on the books time where they're supposed to change, where it doesn't really feel like the new season for her because of how northerly she lived. And that was very much true for me in the Northeast, where it would say that, spring was supposed to have begun and there's snow on the ground. So I definitely can understand and appreciate where she was coming from with that. And then the completely opposite side of the spectrum, for years living in Maui, it was very, very different. Coming from the Northeast where the seasons are so, what's the word? Dramatic, I guess. I mean, you just feel each season. It's spring, it's summer, it's fall, it's winter, and it's winter for a long time. It's deep though. The season just is all around you and you see it and it's bright or it's really, really dull or, whatever it might be, it is in it and you are saturated in that season. Whereas in Hawaii, it's totally not the case. It's summer year round. And that was a little bit, getting used to that difference and how I celebrated with that. I found myself still, finding scents to put around the home, whether it be candles or like a plug-in, something that smelled like fall, right? Or something that smelled like winter. I found myself doing those sort of things to kind of bring about the season in my mind to help me out, and I decorated for it. However, I will say that after the first year, I generally felt like I could tell the seasons, how they shifted. It was just so much less intense than the Northeast. So much more mild, and it would just be little things that you would notice. It just rained a little bit more, or you could smell a little something different in the air, or there's a particular plant that only, is blooming during certain seasons, right? So there was smaller differences and smaller changes. And I definitely got used to that. So now moving to the Pacific Northwest, I'm back to having really saturated seasons. From what I'm gathering though, it's not going to be as intense as New England. Hello, Bradley. It will be as intense as New England. So I'm excited for that. And I'm happy that it'll be a little bit more mild. I'm hoping the winter at least will be a little bit more mild. That would be great. It's something though that I think we all find our own rhythm with, depending on where we live, and sort of our own way of communicating with nature and our own way of communicating with the seasons, or at least I know I do. And I find a groove and then I sort of kind of follow that groove and I'm okay. Because I've lived in so many different places, for me, I can certainly find beauty and find meaning in all the different variations that I've had. If I were to have a preference, I do like seasons. I definitely do. I also like it to be warm all year round. So I'm hoping that a good middle ground will be the Pacific Northwest. I'm hoping the milder winter, which is what I'm told, I'm hoping that will really happen and I will feel more connected to the seasons than I was on Maui because they'll change more. However, I feel like I'm hoping that I will feel like I won't hate winter as much as I used to when I was in New England. So that's sort of where I'm at with that. I think for me, when it comes to plants, I've had an opportunity to study herbalism and plant life with Rosemary Gladstar. So I'm really into that. And she's all about the United Plant Savers, which is very much in line with sort of permaculture values, right? And so that's definitely something that I believe in. And it's so important that some of our medicinal plants are protected. They are definitely being over harvested, and it'll be scary if we lose some of these incredibly valuable plants because I just think about sometimes, I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. Does anyone else think about like an apocalypse, right? Where like all the electronics just shut down and we have to go back to living without like electricity? I don't know. I think about that. Um, oh, Bradley, awesome. Herbal medicine's the best. So yeah, I think about that, whether it's a zombie apocalypse or whatever it might be, something where, an EM pulse goes off and there's no more electronics. So I think about that sort of thing and I go, wow, wait a minute. What if we didn't have access to the medicines that we have, Western medicines? We would have to go back to herbal medicine. It'd be the only way. We wouldn't survive. And I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't survive. We certainly can't, herbal medicine can't do everything, right? However, we're going to need something. And with certain herbs, in particular, one I'm thinking of right now is golden seal. Golden seal has antibiotic qualities. I mean, it's a mild antibiotic and it's incredibly powerful. And there's ways that you can make it even more powerful. It's also been so over harvested in the United States that it's literally endangered. And that really, really makes me nervous because that's an incredibly valuable plant for us and for our future and for future generations that might not be around. And so that's scary. Awesome, Bradley. Yes. Solar, off-grid living. Yes. Oh my God. Natural foods. Absolutely. I'm there with you. I'm there with you 100%. So I just think that we need to save our history, which is really what these plants are. They're our lifeline and our connection. And so I think it's important. So I think that permaculture is incredibly important. It has a very, very important place in the whole agricultural world right now. And as far as my tiny piece of it, when it comes to herbal medicine and herbs, United Plant Savers, if you're interested in helping out with any sort of preservation of our natural herbal medicine via plants, check out United Plant Savers. They're awesome. And yeah, so this became intense. I'm like, oh my gosh, gotta save the plants now. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We've already been on here for almost 15 minutes. So this video is getting long. I apologize. And I'm losing what little light I have. I think it's raining. You can't hear it right now, but it is raining. And it's the Pacific Northwest. So of course it's raining, which I like. I do like the rain. So that works out nicely. I'm one of those people who, and maybe hopefully there's somebody out there too who feels this way. Raise your hand if you're also one of those people who plays in the rain. Do you just go out or love thunderstorms? I love sitting on a porch when there's thunder and lightning storm out. I just absolutely adore it. I just snuggle up in a blanket and sit on the porch and listen to the rain and the thunder and watch the lightning. It's one of my favorite things to do. Caleb. Yes, Caleb, you're right. Exactly. So Caleb just mentioned in the comments that we hear a lot about endangered animals. We don't hear as much about endangered plants. And that's so, so true. We don't hear about it. And it's scary, the type of plants, the amount of plants that are going extinct every day and endangered every day. And it's scary because those plants are so important and they're so valuable that the thought of losing them, it makes me nervous. What's your thoughts on the explosion of medical cannabis or related products? We used it for millennia, but what do you think about this? All right, so cannabis, I'm in Oregon, and cannabis is allowed. This is the first time I've ever, or recreationally legal. So not just medically. I lived in New Hampshire where it was medically, I think it was medically legal. And then Hawaii, where it's medically legal as well. However, this is my first time living in a state where it's recreationally legal. And I don't have any, so I personally don't use it. I've never even tried pot. I just haven't. However, there's CBD and cannabis. I know tons tons and tons and tons of people, though, who medically have used cannabis, and it has been incredibly important for them. It has really, really helped them. So, yeah, and then I know lots of people who use it recreationally and they're fine and they're responsible and it's great. For me, I am not very versed on if it's hurting agriculture or not. If it is hurting agriculture, that's awful. I do know that hemp has been something good for agriculture in a lot of ways. And, we could do a lot with hemp that we're not doing. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't see any reason to regulate it any more than we do alcohol. To me, it's as long as you're responsible, the same as with alcohol. I feel like alcohol actually could be way more dangerous in a lot of ways. So that's sort of how I feel. I'm not sure if that answered your question. Let's see, thunderstorms, Caleb. I know thunderstorms are the best. Oh, I know. I can't even, sometimes I just want to cry when I think about, Caleb, you mentioned the rainforests. And there's a statistic, I don't remember it, but there are thousands of plant species literally going extinct every day because of deforestation, because there are small places where in the rainforest where there are offshoots of plants or new plants created that only grow in one place in the Amazon or one place in a rainforest or in a forest. It's isolated because of the way that ecosystem works. And we haven't even tapped one tiny bit of the surface. In fact, one of my absolute all-time favorite movies. I mean, I can't ever say I have one favorite movie, but I have probably like a top 50. And one of them is this old 80s movie, and I don't even know if you can find it anymore. And it's called Medicine Man. And I think it was based on a true story, but I'm not sure. So basically, they found this plant that only grew on this one tree in the Amazon. And they kept testing it. And there was this one batch that they tested because they were trying to find cures. They managed to find a cure for cancer. A cure for cancer. Now, I'm not saying that that's realistic. It was a movie, right? However, it turned out to not even be that plant. It turned out to be the ants. Once the ants fed off of that plant, then they created with that plant their excrement or whatever, something about it. That is what cured the cancer. And so it was the two of them combined. So when we destroy these ecosystems, when we destroy the plants, we could be destroying things that could save our own lives. And that's just so scary to me and so heartbreaking to me. I'm not saying that the cure for cancer is out there. I'm just saying that we don't know what these plants could do. I look at something like valerian, and it's one of the strongest muscle relaxants and sleeping plants out there. And we made Valium out of it that everyone uses on a daily basis when they're going in for dental problems, when they're going in for surgery, things like that. That people use it all the time. And we made it from a plant. And so when I think about what we could be losing or what we are losing with deforestation, it makes me really sad. Yeah, wow, that was a cheery topic. I'm so sorry. I get very passionate about these things, and then I just will go off on tangents. So I apologize. So I think we probably, now that we've been at 20 minutes long for this video, Bradley and Caleb, thank you so much for being so engaged with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna head out, I think. It's about 6 o'clock here. And so I think it's time for me to go make dinner and take the puppy out. Oh, thank you, Bradley. I appreciate that. It's important. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. Give this video a thumbs up if you want me to do more lives. Now that I've got a couch to sit at, I think I can do that where I don't have to hold it. Before I was standing in front of the fireplace over there holding the phone or whatever, trying to get some sort of visual because I had nowhere to sit. So now that I have a place to sit, I can do lives more often. But oh, Bradley, thank you. Blessed be. Oh, that was very sweet. So, all right, I guess I will say goodbye, guys. And yeah, I will see you, I think next week. I think I'll see you next week. Yeah, yeah, I will see you next week. And as always, blessed be and aloha. Bye.